Hello amazing family, this is Hadija with the Parenting Mindset Shift, the place for parents to bring clarity, confidence, peace and joy to their parenting journey. And today we're going to explore a topic that is incredibly important for all parents out there. We're going to discuss the impact of choosing your battle in parenting. Yes. Now, why is it so crucial to understand this concept? Well, stick around because I'm about to reveal 7 compelling reasons why. When parents hear this statement, some parents immediately respond, so what? I'm the parent and I'm not supposed to say to my kid what's wrong when I see it, the second I see it. And yeah, I'm not saying let your child do whatever. What I'm saying is when getting ready to enter a potential battle, bedtime, homework, cleaning the room, choosing clothing, pause. Take a moment and ask yourself, which state, mood are you in that moment? And that's what I wanted us to talk about. Are you already upset? Are you fine? Are you emotionally connected and okay? Are you already out there and frustrated and almost angry? Because when we realize that our states determine the outcome of the interaction, we think twice before we do anything. And I think the focus here again is on us to see if we can have some kind of control over the situation, right? So what I found funny is when we do that in the workspace. It's known not to send an email when we are angry. At work, we say, hey, sit on it. Go make a walk and just send the email. Because you're upset, you don't want to say anything. That you're making sure that it's proper. So with our friends, we may be saying, I'm upset right now. I don't want to say anything that I may regret. Choose not to entertain this negative interaction. But why don't we apply the same thing with our children? So we have a beautiful opportunity to teach our children mastery of our emotion and some level of communication. So how can we do that if we are upset, frustrated, angry? Now, our goal is an interaction with our children is not to be just right or make a point in that moment. So that's what I want us to reflect a little bit. Our goal is an interaction with our children is to teach, to guide, to empower them to change their behavior, to understand better the why of the lesson taught. And for that, we need to be in a good place. So how are we going to accomplish that? By battling every battle, right? If we are not in the right state of mind to do that. So we will not, and guess what? In the end, our parents will end up, I feel like at the end, we may just end up losing the war if we do that every single battle. What battle was worth it? Like you need to really think of between the relationship of your child and having the opportunity to do the guidance, the teaching and the empowering, or just breaking this relationship and have nothing to then have an opportunity to say anything, because now there is no listening, there is no desire to be with you, for instance, or things like that. So we need to pay attention of what are we doing to make the end goal. So which word am I talking about? Cultivating the relationship to have the opportunity to continue to be guided, to guide to our children throughout their adult life. So the reason why it's wise to choose your battle, number 1, you want to maintain a positive parent-child relationship. Just like I said a second ago, this relationship is going to be the opportunity for you to do the teaching, the guiding, and the empowering. So as parents, we want our relationship with our children filled with love, trust, and understanding. And when we are selecting the battle, we engage in, we can avoid unnecessary conflict and preserve that positive bond with our kids. And here I'm saying unnecessary conflict. Sometimes we have moments where it's not necessary because you're not in the space where you can communicate calmly. Number 2, fostering independence, allowing our children to make choices with appropriate boundaries. So you empower them and help develop their decision-making skill. So when you choose a battle wisely, we give our children the freedom to explore and learn from their own experience, because now you communicate, you're choosing the battle you do is about communication, about negotiation. You can take that in when they say, I don't want to take my shower right now. So then you're in a position where we say, okay, we're still doing the shower. We are not just dismissing that. But the question now becomes, do you want to do it in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 20 minutes, depending on what you are able to accept in that battle. But you give them the choice. You have this conversation with them. And then sometimes they just pick one, like 10 minutes, okay? And if either you trust or not your child doing it, you can put a timer. Okay, at 10 minutes when it's ringing, let's take the shower. What do you think? Yeah, that's a good deal. Okay, let's do that. Right? So those are, of course, I make it sounds a little bit simpler like that, but when you are in a place of emotionally present and stable, you can do those things easy. And I think we know that. We just decided to jump on everything despite the mood that we are in, but then the outcome is a chaos for no reason. So number 3 is teaching priorities and values. By focusing on the battle again, and we focus on what truly matters, we can effectively instill our core values and priority in your children. It's about guiding them toward the choices that align with their long-term well-being and growth. Because now you're in a place of peace, you can communicate. This behavior is completely unacceptable. This is disrespectful, and I'm going to tell you why. Because when you speak to your mom, and that's an example that I'm giving you, when you speak to your mom, this is the relationship that we want to have, and this is the way to talk to your parents, for instance. But when you're upset, you're in a place where, oh, you're joking, and then you explode completely. You don't teach anything. You're just expressing anger at that moment. You don't do any teaching. And most of my conversation with my children are like that, and they understand. They say, okay, I see what you mean. I really didn't mean to be disrespectful. Now I understand. I'm going to try not to do it because I didn't know. And most of the time, that's really sometimes the thing that I think, and that the whole disrespect can be a whole video, maybe a whole series of video, because it's about the teaching the skills to communicate mainly. And we can only do that in a place of feeling okay ourselves. So that's how I'm insisting in the concept of choosing your battle. In which state of mood are you to be able to communicate that to your child? Number 4, the big one, it reduces stress level. Parenting can be challenging, and engaging in every minor battle can quickly become overwhelming. By picking our battle wisely, we can reduce stress for ourselves and for our children, creating a more harmonious and peaceful home environment. Number 5, focusing on the bigger picture. So important to focus on the bigger picture. Parenting is a journey filled of countless ups and downs. So by understanding the impact of choosing our battle, we can focus on the bigger picture and prioritize the long-term goal rather than getting caught up in minor conflict that really won't matter in the grand scheme of things. And so having that perspective of the big picture. Number 6 is building resilience. So life is full of challenges, and by selectively choosing our battle, we teach our children the importance of resilience and perseverance, because now they learn to face difficulties head on developing the skills needed to overcome like different obstacles. Because you can teach those things, you can calmly explain the reason and the why that lead to their personal growth and success. Number 7, promoting a positive learning environment. And that's also super important, because when we focus on the battle that truly matter, we create an environment where open communication and learning thrive. Our children feel safe to express themselves and ask questions. And then, their intellectual and emotional development is growing. And that's really what we want at the end of the day. That's the environment that we want to create. So there you have it, those 7 compelling reasons why understanding the impact of choosing your battle in parenting is so important. You know, by maintaining the positive relationship, fostering independence, teaching priorities and values, reducing stress and focusing on the big picture and building resilience, and then promoting the positive learning environment. With all of that, we can make a difference in our children's life. And just by doing that, I already discussed 7 compelling reasons, and now we're going to explore some real life scenario to help you grasp the concept even better. Because yeah, I know I'm giving like concept, but now we want a real thing. Like, how do you do that? How do I do personally? So your child, you know, scenario number 1, your child refused to eat their vegetable. Typical. As a parent, it's easy to get into a power struggle over this issue. However, by choosing your battle wisely, you can turn this situation into a positive learning experience, because in that moment, you're saying to yourself, I'm okay, I can handle it. Instead of forcing your child to eat vegetable on their plate, you can involve them and say, you know what? So next time, just eat that one for now. Next time we're going to the store together and we're going to choose which vegetable because we need to eat vegetable. It's important for your diet. So you can help me choose the type of vegetable that we can eat together. And then by having just a simple conversation like that can change tremendously of the dynamic, because they have to choose. They have to go in that store and be in a position of which vegetable are we going to eat. Because we need to do it, and it's important for you, and you know, I care about you, I want you to be growing and being healthy. So how can we do that together? You don't eat this one, but you need to eat one. But you can only do that if you're not upset. You can only do that if you're emotionally connected. You can only do that if you did that transition from work to home and be present fully. So the next scenario is about dressing choices, for instance, and it's common for parents to have disagreement with their children over what they should wear. So instead of turning this into a daily power struggle, we can give our children some control over their wardrobe, like making them choose within those guidelines that we will be communicating and that align with our values. But because now we're in a state where you choose that battle, because you are able to do the teaching about the values, to the teaching about the boundaries. We are buying the clothing together. So can we work together and see what is in the closet and what are the things that are appropriate and not, and empower them with a different solution there. And instead of just saying, no, you're not wearing this, without any communication or discussion, and see if it's actually worth it. Because let's say they choose to wear 2 different socks and or even a pants that has a little bit a hole in it, and what you can think sometimes, it's what is the worry here? That hole show an image as a parent that maybe you don't care about your child and you don't want that image to reflect you. But if that's his favorite pant, is that really a battle worth fighting in the morning before going to school? So instead of doing that, let's now maybe let that go for today, but then have a conversation in the evening and saying, this, we need to find another solution. We need to find another pen, because we cannot keep on doing that every morning and choosing this. So you're choosing at the moment where you're in a more possible way to communicate with them of your other options that you can offer them. And this example of socks and pants are very easy to manage, because you can find the same pants and with no hole, for instance. So in the different battles, I did talk about giving them the choice. The bedtime stories, I give them, or do you want to take, not bedtime, shower. Do you want to take your shower right now, or do you want to take it in 5 or 10 minutes? And he chooses, he's feeling empowered, he's choosing. You do the timer depending on the trust that you have with your child in doing it in 10 minutes or not. And then you have a better situation in that case. But you are always in a position where you can do that. If you cannot, that's the trick. If you feel like you're already boiling inside, don't do anything. Don't do anything. The only thing that, depending on the situation, I would do here is to go to my child, depending, like I say, what's the interaction. I will say, this kitchen is very messy. I don't want to give any detail or any lecture about today, but we need to talk about it later. Right now I'm exhausted, but you need to know that this is not okay. Let's talk about it later. And then we can have this conversation later. You ask them either to clean it in that moment, but they understand that there's something wrong in that picture, but you cannot deal with it right now. You came from work and you're done, but you communicate that. Or sometimes the ignoring things, that the socks, they're waking up in the morning, they have the wrong socks. You just move on. Sometimes it's not worth the battle. And then in the evening, if it was really important for you, you say, come on, we are taking the effort to buy all those socks. Can you just make the effort to have the same color or whatever is important in the pants or the jacket and things like that. But you are choosing when to do that. You're empowering yourself of when to do that. So this week's shred connection tool is this. Which battle are you willing to fight? Think of the values that you want to talk about more, and try to see your week and see where you can choose to accentuate the teaching or just ignore the situation, and what's the dynamic here. Are you on everything, or are you choosing where to? Are you choosing the battle every week, or are you choosing the one that is important based on your values? So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here with me today. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. It always help me to go and spread the word more about parenting, more insight that I can share. Put any comments, what you're thinking. Are you agreeing with me? Do you are not? I would love to have some kind of conversation about it. So put any comments, subscribe, share, and I will see you next time. Thank you.